Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to see you again in our consecutive online webinar. Please allow to introduce myself to you. My name is Musbah Muqbil. I am USG Middle East Regional Marketing Manager. Thanks for your interest to attend our 8th technical consecutive webinar titled Specialized Introduction for Roofing Solution, which will be presented by our colleague, Mr. Karim Mansour, our system specification leads based in Dammam, KSA. Within our today presentation, we will showcase the best practices which about the roofing solution, and you will gain a knowledge about the advantages of having commercial roof acting as the fifth hole for building, what are the typical roof board applications and benefits for each board, how different forces such as fire, wind, impact, load, moisture, and mold would impact the roofs, and how various roof board types compare with respect to fire, wind, hail rating, moisture resistance, mold, and compressive strength. We will share new technologies of various application of USG Securock brand roof board, especially with vegetative roof used in the LEED certificates project. And finally, USG Structural Panel concrete roof deck for various applications. Mr. Mansour, our today's speaker, holds a bachelor degree in civil engineering from Canada, and he has more than 10 years of experience in the building materials and material specification. Mr. Mansour, during the past decade, he has focusing on providing technical support about drywall partitions and ceiling system to architect, consultant, and project owners. For USG Middle East, we continue to play a major role in the MENA region to meet and present the latest technologies in the building material industry, and thus we are delighted for the continuous technical summit which we are conducting on a monthly basis, where we have considered the last Tuesday of each month, 3 p.m. KSA time, which is GMT +3. Till date, more than 1,000 professionals had attended our online technical webinars. And as we always say, that you are attending this webinar are considered the highly support and engine behind the success of these consecutive online webinars. This is to confirm the importance of the collaboration in the building materials industry between all of manufacturers, designers, distributors, and even the contractors. At USG Middle East, we work very close with our partners, with our project stakeholders, and other businesses to share the best practices and find a new way to advance our performance. Even we work more closer with regulators and construction influencers to meet the latest construction regulations and building codes for material supply compliance. And this is to confirm our mission to deliver innovations that help you to work smarter, do more, and build better. For all the colleagues and attendees who are attending our webinars for the first time, just a very quick brief about USG Middle East operation. In a glance, USG Middle East has multiple manufacturing facilities based in Dammam, Saudi Arabia, Doha, Qatar, and Turkey that allow us to supply any project in speed and high technical support. And USG has more than 334 UL certified ceiling systems and drywall assemblies, which are results for our dedication and excellence of innovation. This specialized introduction of roofing solution technical session will be recorded for your information, and we will share all the link with all participants, including the 1 hour credit of continuing professional development CPD certificate after this webinar. Please send your questions to the chat box, and we will answer all of your questions at the end of this technical event. And now let me leave you with our colleague, Mr. Karim, for his technical webinar. Kareem?
Thank you, Misbah, for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another webinar, technical webinar that USG Boral Middle East is hosting. My name is Kareem Mansour, and I'm a System Specifications Lead at USG Boral Middle East. This is one of the series of webinars that we'll be having. We'll be having future webinars on the topic of healthcare applications as per the FGI code for ceilings and drywall partitions. We're going to be having educational ceilings and drywall partitions. We're going to be having even structural design for wall partitions and structural design for ceilings. Today's topic is going to be about USG roofing solutions and all you need to know about roof boards. As you may know, in many parts of the world, including the Middle East and Gulf countries, roof board systems are essential. Whether you are looking to insulate your roofs due to cold or hot weather conditions during the year, or if you're looking to waterproof your roofs while taking into account considerable amount of hail, such as the hail that usually hits even Saudi Arabia and the GCC countries. During the winter weather conditions, you may see or notice some heavy hail destroying cars around you or hitting the roofs. We do have solutions for the roofs to waterproof the roofs as well as to protect it from hail. So, and we have two main featured products in our webinar that are the USG Securock gypsum fiber roof board and USG Structural Panel, which we're going to be discussing as we go through the presentation. As a course summary, this course includes an introduction to roofing boards, typical applications, forces that affect roofs, roof board comparisons, and roof board specification. It's good to note that the cost of the installed roof in a building will be less than 4%, and that's for the cost of the material and cost of the installation of these roofs. And there are many litigation involved in this aspect, whether the Saudi building code currently, which is in Saudi Arabia, or international building code, whether you're working in any GCC country or across the globe. The learning objectives of this webinar will be to discuss the importance of specifying the correct roof boards in a roof system, is to list types of roof boards and their attributes. The webinar will also describe roof boards and how they create more durable roofs. And we're going to explain the different forces that negatively impact roofs. What are these forces? The forces may be the wind, the fire, the moisture, the mold, and other factors as well. We're going to be discussing them in detail as we go through the webinar. So for a minimal investment, roof boards solve many issues that can plague a roof during installation and through the warranty period. There are more roofing systems to choose from than ever before because of new technologies and building requirements. Choosing the best system is now a major challenge for everyone involved in the specification process. So we're gonna start with the first learning objective, which is describing roof boards and how they create a stronger and a more durable roofs. Please note that Bulletin 2000-3 from the National Roofing Contractors Association, NRCA, recommends a 1/2 inch or a 12.7 millimeter cover board over polyiso roof insulation in all low-slope roof applications because of failures caused by facer delamination, edge cavitation, cupping and bowing, shrinkage, crushing, or powdering. Have you ever asked yourself, what are the commercial roof functions and how does a commercial roof act as the fifth wall of a building? As you know, there are 4 exterior walls for a building. However, the fifth wall would be the roof. The roof would be the fifth wall that protects the building from fire, moisture, water, and many other factors. So it acts as the fifth wall, even though it's not a wall. However, it acts as a fifth wall for a building. A quick short summary is that a roof is considered the fifth wall of a building. It maintains the structural integrity of the building. It protects building contents. It directs the flow of water. It controls heat and cooling loss. It protects from externally sourced fire. It restricts spread of internal fire. It contributes to aesthetics. It mitigates external noise. It restricts moisture vapor. It's another area for public. It's a platform for equipment as well. So these are all the characteristics that makes a roof very important and very crucial during the design or the implementation of a building. It protects the building. It's as important as a wall for a building. It's the fifth wall of the building. So basic components of a roof. This is a small illustration showing you the membrane and the roof cover board, which here you see the picture of USG Securock gypsum fiber roof board. You're going to see the name of this product, USG Securock gypsum fiber roof board, multiple times in this presentation. Insulation and corrugated steel deck. You can see this corrugated steel deck held on a joist. However, this corrugated steel deck can be replaced by USG Structural Panel to hold all these systems above it. Typical low slope roof systems. They are built-up roof membranes, modified bitumen membranes, single-ply membranes, spray polyurethane foam, and protected roof membrane, also called as PMR assemblies. What's a roof board? What's the main definition of a roof board? A roof board is a non-structural rigid form board that enhances performance of the roofing assembly. It's used over insulation under roofing membrane, and it serves as protection to the system from hail, foot traffic, solvent attack, chemical, wind uplift, and loads. It's used over a deck, and it acts as a thermal and fire barrier. So this is the summary of what a roof board is. Typical applications, and we're going to be discussing each application. Where is a roof board used in a roof? It can be used as a parapet substrate. It can be used as a cover board. It can be used as a thermal barrier, as a recover board in case you are doing any maintenance or renovation to an existing roof. And we're going to be explaining each of these applications as we go through the webinar. And it acts also as a vapor retarder. So typical applications include cover board. When it's used as a cover board, as you can see in this illustration, it gives an impact protection for insulation boards, which is this insulation in between, beneath. It gives an impact protection. It protects insulation as well from rubber coating and rubber coating heat transfer. It acts as a surface to which asphalt can be mopped, and it acts as a fire barrier for external fire. It also increases the wind uplift protection. Another application is acting as a thermal barrier. As you can see here, this is the type of Securock gypsum fiber roof board, which allows the system to act as a thermal barrier as it reduces the thermal shock. It slows heat escape from building, and it acts as a fire barrier for internal fire, whether fire happened from inside of the building, from beneath. During maintenance, if you have an existing roofing system that needs maintenance, typical applications the roof board can act as a recover board, as it provides a flat substrate for a new roof. Vapor retarder, acting as a vapor retarder, it acts as a substrate for vapor retarder component to adhere. So a vapor retarder can adhere to this system. And a better illustration would be towards the end of this webinar, where you can see our systems and the USG systems and gypsum fiber installed with a vapor retarder, and it will point out to you where the vapor retarder is. It reduces condensation as well when acting as a vapor retarder. Also, as a parapet substrate, as you can see in the illustration, it creates a surface for flashing. And the International Building Code requires a flashing installation according to ANSI/SPRI ES-1. So it's very critical for a parapet as a parapet substrate usage. So in summary, USG or any other type of roof board acts as a cover board, thermal barrier, recover board, vapor retarder, and parapet substrate. So we'll move to learning objective 2, and please, any questions you have, please leave it in the chat box and we will answer them at the end of the session, in the Q&A session. So the other objective, second objective, is explaining the different forces that negatively impact roofs and how resistance to those factors are tested and measured. It's good to note that this is a very heavy subject that includes a lot of technical information that we're going to be giving about the forces that negatively impact roofs and how resistance to those forces are tested and measured. So we're going to list the forces. Loading is one of the forces. Fire, wind, impact, and moisture and mold. And as we go through the webinar, we're going to be discussing each of these forces that impact roofs. So for the fire, majority of you are already familiar with UL, or Underwriter's Laboratory, which tests systems for fire. FM, which stands for Factory Mutual Global, is another body that tests also roofing systems. Exterior classifications come from UL 790, and they are UL Class A high degree, which is a maximum flame spread of 6 feet. UL Class B, which is moderate degree, flame spread of 8 feet. And UL C, which is a light degree, maximum flame spread of 12 feet. And the ratings are determined by spread of flame, intermittent flame, burning brand, and we're going to be explaining each of these as we go. The three components of these tests are, as we mentioned, the spread of flame, which is tested on all deck types. Combustible decks are made of materials like wood, and non-combustible decks are made of materials like gypsum. Intermittent flame is tested on combustible decks and simulates wind periodically fanning a flame. Burning brand is tested on combustible decks with 3 sizes of brands that are available to establish Class A, Class B, or Class C. The brand is placed over a joint in the decking. A fan helps to fan the flames, and the test is continued until either the deck ignites or the brand is completely consumed. So interior classifications come from UL 1256 and UL 263, and majority of you are familiar with the UL 263 as it's also used for testing interior ceilings for fire rating, whether 1 hour or 2 hours. So UL 1256 is the fire test of roof deck constructions to decide whether a thermal barrier can be removed from a roof assembly, and also measure the flame spread potential. UL 263, which is as per ASTM E119P assemblies, it tests the resistance to fires that start within a building. So fire can be within a building, and towards the end of the webinar, we're going to be seeing a UL certificate with our roof board and our gypsum board on the interior as well, acting as a full system to protect for 1 hour or 2 hours. FM 4450 primarily concerns with loss prevention issues. FM tests for wind uplift, fire resistance, fastener pullout strength, and adhesive bond strength. For a Class 1 rating, external fire is tested, internal, wind uplift, foot traffic, impact resistant, corrosion resistance, and susceptibility to heat damage. All these are tested as per FM, which is Factory Mutual Global Body. This is a picture of failure due to wind uplift. Of course, this is not our roof board. However, this is a picture that was taken in one of the projects in North America that shows how a roofing system is affected and gets damaged and fails. There are 3 major testing design agencies for wind uplift: ASCE, UL, and FM, which is Factory Mutual. So we're going to be discussing a bit about the wind uplift acting as a force also. So factors as per ASCE-7 are wind velocity, building location, height, ground surface, and others such as dynamic pressure, external pressure, roof zones, and internal pressure. So The UL standards are UL 580 and UL 1897. There is no safety factor in the UL number. The test is in pounds per square foot. And this is not a design number, it's a test number. You may be familiar with UL U419. This is UL 580 without U before it. So it's not a design number, it's an actual test number. UL 580 is a dynamic pressure test. In addition to pressure from below, UL 580 draws a vacuum on top of the membrane. Pressure levels are varied throughout the duration of the test. UL 1897 is a static pressure test in which an apparatus that creates a steady negative pressure is placed on top side of the membrane. Pressure is held for 1 minute and raised by 15 psf increments until failure. Factory mutual global testing standards are FM 4450 and FM 4470. And it's the default testing standard for wind uplift. You can also visit this website, roofnav.com, to get tested roof assemblies as well. FM 1-90 is a very common rating, but actual wind loads should be considered. This is a test number and not a design number. Again, FM 1-28 uses a safety factor of 2 in all designs unless the roof is a special use, where a safety factor of 3 is used. So we move to another force, which is the impact. Here you can see a picture of a hail storm. And as I mentioned, even in Saudi Arabia, some parts of the winter season, you may see some hails going on the roofs or even damaging some cars. There are 3 main tests for impact resistance, which are ASTM D3746 and FM 4470 and UL 2218. So with ASTM D3746 standard, a steel dart, which is a steel sphere, is dropped from a predetermined height, impacting test targets with impact energy of 22 pounds per foot. 22 foot-pounds, sorry. This standard allows the test to be performed at any described temperature and on new or in situ membranes. Because of this, ASTM recognizes the importance of temperature and aging. So ASTM D3746 is a standard test method for impact resistance of bituminous roofing systems. There are 2 factory mutual certifications available. Class 1 SH, which stands for Severe Hail Resistance. In North America, it's represented in yellow. And Class 2 MH, which is Moderate Hail Resistance, it's represented in green. And in the GCC countries, there's still no study showing where the hail is severe and where it's moderate. FM tests new roof coverings with a steel ball dropped several times in various areas. The membrane is checked for splitting, delamination, or rupture. If no damage is detected, the sample is then aged 1,000 hours in a FM-approved ultraviolet weatherometer after this initial testing. The procedure is then repeated after the samples have been aged. So FM 4470 is a susceptibility to hail damage test standard for Class 1 roof covers. UL 2218 is the impact resistance of prepared roof coverings. The method utilizes 4 sizes of steel balls dropped at various heights onto a roofing system test target. The impact resistance is based on 4 classes, with Class 4 the most resistant. Testing is performed on new roof coverings at room temperature. So another force that affects also roofs is moisture. Moisture can get into the roof assembly through a variety of means. It can get during construction, leaks, and as vapor as well. So moisture during construction, wastewater is introduced already if it's already in the re-roof assemblies, if wet materials are being used, and through environmental conditions during installation. The best practices to avoid is to make sure all water is out of existing roof, to keep all materials stored in dry environments and never install wet material, and only install materials that can be covered during dry periods. Leaks. Repair leaks promptly because mold spores germinate rapidly. Vapor. All air contains moisture. Condensation can occur on the surface or within the material. Principles to consider: air barriers, primarily designed to prevent air movement through a roof with the 2012 IBC Energy Code requirement to ensure continuity exists at the perimeter of a building. Air barrier is tied into the deck. Areas above zone 3 increase an R value for all areas. And it's good to know that the vapor retarder should have a perm rating of less than 1 perm. This is a characteristic, a technical characteristic for the vapor retarder, which should be met. A vapor retarder functions as both an air barrier and a vapor retarder. Be aware of the principles of air transport, conduction, convection, and radiation. So mold is also critical. Mold needs 4 things to grow: mold spores, temperature between 40 and 100 Fahrenheit, food, moisture as well. Mold can't grow if any of these factors are missing, because mold spores are present everywhere and external temperature can't be controlled. The 2 growth factors easiest to control are food and moisture. Moisture can be controlled by eliminating water in the system by methods previously discussed. Food can be controlled by installing moisture, mold-resistant materials, which can be verified through testing such as ASTM D3273. 10 is the highest rating. So we go to the next force that affects a roof, which is loading. The main concerns with foot traffic happen during construction and afterwards during maintenance. During construction, there are many dangers to the integrity of the roof system, but foot traffic, wheelbarrows, and equipment cars all generate significant loads. Potential damage occurs first during installation of the roof itself, and then from the installation of HVAC, antenna systems, photovoltaic roof systems, and other rooftop equipment. The roof becomes a staging and a storage area for multiple trades, which can lead to a damaged roof assembly. So post-construction and throughout the life of the roof, there is a potential for damage from foot traffic and equipment. So we move to learning objective 3, listing the different types of roof boards and their attributes. Various types of roof boards are asphaltic board, cement board, glass mat, gypsum, and gypsum fiber. Just focus on these 2 products, the glass mat, gypsum, and the gypsum fiber, which are the best to use in roofing applications. And USG has Securock gypsum fiber roof board and Securock glass mat gypsum roof board in our portfolio. And in the next slide, we're going to see the comparison. What's the advantages of using these roof boards? So these 2 are the important ones. There is high density polyiso, there is mineral fiber board, There is paper-faced gypsum, perlite, plywood or OSB, and wood fiber board. So you should take care to select the proper board for the application. This is a roof board comparison, which shows you the advantages of each roof board. The asphaltic board has fire protection and moisture resistant advantages. The cement board helps in fire protection, moisture resistant, mold resistant, and compression strength. It has a high compressive strength. The glass mat gypsum roof board helps in fire protection, wind uplift, hail resistance, hail rating, and moisture resistance and mold resistance. Gypsum fiber roof board is the best in all, whether it's fire protection, wind uplift, hail rating, moisture resistant, mold resistant, and compressive strength. It has a much higher compressive strength than the glass mat gypsum fiber roof board. However, a question might come, where do we use, when do we use glass mat and when do we use gypsum fiber? Glass mat is used with mechanically attached membrane, which we will see as we go through the presentation. So there is also the high density polyiso, which has good hail ratings, moisture resistant, and mold resistance. There is the mineral fiber roof board, which is good in fire protection, hail rating, and moisture resistance. There is the paper faced gypsum, which is good in fire protection, perlite board, which is good in fire, wind uplift, and hail rating. And there is the plywood, which is good in wind uplift and hail rating and compressive strength. And there is the wood fiber board, which is good in hail ratings. So as a summary point, a roof board adds a lot of functionality and durability to a roof. Many design and code considerations to a roof that make a roof board critical for adherence. There are new and old technology that have created a long list of potential roof boards that have different attributes and applications. There is a proper roof board solution to your roof design, and choosing the right board will make a successful project and a more durable roof. So these are some links to certain websites that you can get more information about roofing systems, and even for the USG Securock roof board, as it's only produced in USA, same as other multinational companies. You can visit our website, usg.com, and our USG Design Studio to get the latest information, and you can also request from us to share with you all the technical information that you require. You can also visit the UL website for certain certifications for fire rating and other certificates as well. So now we're gonna introduce our products, which is the Securock. And our local website is usgme.com, which you can find a lot of information and technical data sheets on our website, www.usgme.com. So USG gypsum fiber roof board, the Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board, can act as a cover board, where USG Securock high performance roof board is placed directly below the roofing membrane, providing primary support for the membrane and protecting the underlying insulation layer from damage during installation and for the service life of the roof. Cover boards are used as impact protection for insulation boards. such as foot traffic and hail, and to the insulation protection from EPDM, heat transfer, and a surface acts as a surface to which asphalt can be mopped, and as a fire barrier for external fire. Here you can see the typical assembly for USG Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board, recommended for most fully adhered membranes. You can see the USG Securock brand cement roof board, recommended for most fully adhered membranes as well. And you can see the membrane, the insulation, the roof board, and even the open web, the corrugated steel deck, which we said can be replaced by USG structural panel, which we're going to be discussing. And I mentioned a note before that when do you use the Securock brand ultralight glass mat roof board? It's used when you mechanically attach the membrane, as you can see here. That's when you use the Securock brand ultralight glass mat roof board. And for the other cases, you can use the Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board, which have been used in many projects and is widely used across the globe. We also have for fully adhered membrane, we have the Securock brand ultralight coated glass mat roof board. So also our boards act as roof recover board. As you can see here, the membrane, the USG Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board, and the existing roof. And as I mentioned, if you're maintaining or doing maintenance to an old existing roof, our roof board can act as a recover board. So it can be used also with hot asphalt substrate or hot mop. USG Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board can be mechanically fastened, bonded with mastic or adhesives, or hot mopped to foam insulation. All hot applied roofing systems can be mopped directly to the unprimed roof board without concern or blistering or delamination. USG Securock gypsum fiber roof board is your best option for hot mopping. You can see here the membrane, the asphalt, the Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board, the asphalt again, and the insulation, and as a recover, and also the Securock gypsum fiber roof board, which is optional to put again for further protection for fire. And the steel deck, which we mentioned, it can be replaced by USG structural panel. It also acts as a substrate for vapor retarders. As you can see here, vapor retarder can be placed on top of the Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board. And the Securock brand glass mat roof board can be used with mechanically attached membrane. Other products as well are available to you from our portfolio, but please, the focus would be on the Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board and the glass mat roof board. Even for metal or tile roof acting as a thermal barrier, USG Securock boards can be used. So acting as a thermal barrier, USG Securock high performance roof board provides a thermal barrier installed directly to a metal deck for both expanded and extruded polystyrene insulation. Thermal barriers reduce thermal shock and slow heat escape from the building and act as a fire barrier for internal fire. Here you can see the systems where it's installed. And by the way, you can have access to all these technical information through our catalogs that we can share with you, or you can download easily from our website. All the system assemblies shown here are available to you online. So even acting as a fire barrier underlayment, here you can see some wood deck or wood joist, which they require fire protection. And you can see the Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board installed, which will help as acting as a fire barrier underlayment. Parapet wall substrate that we saw during our explanation in the beginning of the webinar, where you can use also the Securock brand products. Here you can see the Parapet wall substrate using Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board here, and you can see all the components involved in this parapet. Using green roofs in cities or other built environments with limited vegetation can moderate the heat island effect, particularly during the day. There is a lot of LEED requirements nowadays that require sometimes vegetative roofs, where integrating vegetation into rooftop designs not only redefines conventional urban green space, but it would also help to regulate the system, again, via photosynthesis. The process triggers plants to evaporate and transpire through releasing moisture, which cools down its surroundings, especially in dense urban areas for LEED projects, which is a requirement nowadays for many projects. Green roofs are used. And where does USG stand in these vegetative roofs? USG Securock high-performance roof boards provide an exceptional base for all vegetative roof assemblies while protecting the underlying insulation from damage. These assemblies also found in our documents on our website includes the full system where that you require in order to when you're designing a vegetative roofs for your projects. So you can see the plants, the growing medium, the retention mat, the drainage layer, the protection barrier, the membrane, the Securock brand gypsum fiber roof board, the insulation, the vapor retarder, and the USG brand gypsum fiber roof board optional, even the steel deck. And as you're gonna see, we always say that the steel deck can be replaced with USG structural panel. So all of our 4 roofing products can be used for these vegetative roofs, which are becoming more requirement for LEED projects to gain more points. Even for solar roofs, USG Securock high-performance roof boards provide a strong and a stable base for solar roof assemblies while protecting the underlying insulation from damage. You can see solar panels being installed on and our roof boards being able to carry them. And as mentioned, this corrugated steel sheet can be replaced with USG structural panel to carry all the components above, whether for vegetative roofs or for solar roofs or for other usage. And we're gonna be talking about USG structural panel, which has these assemblies. There are 5 basic components to a low slope roof assembly, which are the structural framing, the concrete roof deck, the insulation, the roof cover board, and the membrane or the membrane system. This is a typical low slope applications where USG structural panel roof deck is used over a cold formed steel. This is over wood frame and even over open web joists. It can carry heavy loads, this USG structural panels, and it's gaining a lot of trend in the market nowadays. It can act as a direct applied, where membrane is directly applied on it. It can be used with insulated systems, whether it's XPS, ISO, or EPS insulations, almost similar to the systems that were mentioned previously with the Securock gypsum fiber. The only difference is that here there was a corrugated steel sheet. Now we replaced it by USG structural panel. So all the previous assemblies are mentioned here, except for the corrugated steel sheet. It's replaced by USG structural panel that carries all the components above it. Even with vegetative roofs, you can see the USG structural panel is carrying all the items above it for vegetative roofs. These are new systems where the USG structural panel can be used, whether it's the structural panel concrete roof deck over a cold formed steel truss, and USG structural panel concrete roof deck over wood truss. It can be used over a cold formed steel truss with the clay tile, as well with steel truss with the standing seam roof and with asphalt shingles, as you can see here. So there are more usages for USG structural panel. It can be used as the structural panel can be used for concrete roof deck in balcony applications, as illustrated in this picture. USG structural panel roof deck in a canopy system, even the canopy above like this, that you can use the USG structural panel. And as a summary, it can, if the steel joists are, the steel joists, these are spaced at 400 millimeter or 16 inch on center, it can carry up to 35 kilopascal. And if they are spaced at 24 inch, it can carry up to 16 kilopascal. So there are many usages of USG structural panel that we're explaining as well. There is recommended fasteners for USG structural panel that you can see on our documents online that are available to you. Even for Securock high performance roof board panels, and I get this question quite often. What are the fastener patterns available with the Securock roof board? These are the fastener patterns that are also available during for Securock roof board. I'm gonna end with a UL certificate for USG roofing system and gypsum system. I'm gonna end with just a small story about one of the contractors approached us. They recently mentioned that they were able to get the roof board from a multinational company. However, they couldn't find a certificate that has the same company having both the gypsum board on the ceiling on the inside and the roof board system. Well, USG has both items. USG has the Sheetrock Type X or Type C gypsum board, which gives a fire rating performance, as well as USG has the roof board products, whether it's the Securock gypsum fiber roof board or the glass mat roof board or others. With the USG as a multinational company, you will be getting both products from a single source manufacturer in order to meet the UL design number for fire rating for 1 hour or 2 hours. So this system will achieve for you typically 1 hour or 2 hours fire rating as per the UL certificate. So USG has all products you need, from roofing to wall partitions to ceilings to steel framing and specialty ceilings as well, and many others. This was the presentation, the webinar that we had for today. I'm going to leave the floor for the Musbah for your questions that you have raised. But Musbah, just one point, I cannot hear from my laptop, so I don't know how you're gonna ask the questions.
Karim, you can join me in the office, maybe?
Right. Hey.
Karim?
Yes.
Can you hear?
I can hear you over the phone, yes.
Okay. So, Karim, we have a question. First of all, thank you for this very constructive technical webinar as usual. Our next webinar will be on the 31st of August. It will be hosted by our colleague from Research and Development Center, Mr. Christophe Blanc. He will be presenting the latest technologies in the assemblies for fire application. So stay tuned for the 31st of August for the coming interesting topic technical webinar. Each participant of this webinar will be receiving a 1 hour credit CPD certificate. Please just make sure to register your name similarly to what you are willing to receive your certificates, because we are following the names registered in this webinar, and the recording will be ready within a couple of days on our online website. Karim, going to the questions raised during this webinar. First of all, how do you know or identify when a roof accessory needs replacement? Are there clues to look for before tiled water stains appear on a plaster ceiling?
Yes, as we mentioned that our gypsum fiber roof board can act as a recover board for maintenance purposes, and there are typically, yes, if you can see water that appears and leakage of water that are clearly visible, then your roof board needs to be maintained, or a recover board needs to be put.
What is the R value and U value for gypsum fiber board?
Okay, the R value and just okay. On our technical data sheets, there is R values that are mentioned. The U value will be for the full system. I don't have the R value memorized on top of my head, but we can send the exact R value for our roof board.
Karim adding that all of the questions and answer will be added as a document also on the recording online. Can we supply gypsum fiber board in if the roof already concrete slab?
Yes, of course. We have here in the Middle East, especially, you have concrete slabs in majority of your roofs. So yes, it can be supplied for concrete ducts. Yes.
One commercial question: what about the artificial turf, grass on the roof? Is this a part of our services? Do we supply? Quickly.
Yeah, just the vegetative roofs is a requirement for lead projects. We don't provide the vegetation and the components of that. However, we only provide the roof board and the structural panel that hold or carry these systems. No, the answer is no, we don't provide the vegetation for the lead projects.
Or even the artificial one, the turf?
No, we don't provide the artificial one neither.
Karim, is the board workable with various types of waterproofing, including APP bituminous membrane? Can it be withstand the membrane installation using torch apply?
Yes, yes, and it's available on our data sheet, which states that it can be used with torch applied membranes.
This is a comment. Can you send us the roofing details, both in roof deck type and with the use of roofing sheet?
Sure, we can.
I will take note of this. Okay. Another question. This type of roof system is only for metal structure roof?
Only for metal structure roof? No, we mentioned that it can be used for concrete roof deck as well. The structural panel is carried by the by steel members. However, the roof board, the Securock gypsum fiber roof board, can be installed on concrete roof decks if needed, especially for projects in the GCC countries.
Could you please, Karim, explain more on the jointing taping method for glass mat Securock board for external envelopes in order to reduce the cracks?
Yes, this is a big question, and we do have installation videos for our Securock gypsum fiber roof board. It's about 10-minute video that explains it step by step. We will definitely share it in the Q&A questions. We will share the links for the videos to be watched.
Another interesting question: why cement boards don't have good performance in wind uplift and hail ratings?
Let me go back to the slide of the comparison that we showed. Is still my screen share? Yes.
Yes, Karim, yes.
I'll actually ask our R&D for this question, and we'll get back to you on the answer for this question regarding the wind uplift for cement board. I don't know of a specific reason, but I will look further into it with our R&D team and get back to you on this question and the answers that we're gonna share.
One question, please show the details. Please show the website for the previous page. Unfortunately, this is a question I would appreciate if you need to If you can share, Mr. Arvella Manhoor, if you can share again which slide you need to share the website. There are projects here in Middle East, especially here in Eastern area. I think this is a new material and roofing system by USG. During this hot season, I need to see the actual photos installed already according in your technical specs and webinar, if any. Karim, for the previous experience projects for the roofing in the Eastern Province area, especially here in Saudi Arabia, where the high moisture area.
Yes, we can share. We can try and share some pictures of some of the projects installed.
This is from Randy Artana. Mr. Randy will share. Also, we will add in the Q&A's document. We'll add some project reference photos for your future references. Is the board a part of waterproofing system warranty that is provided by waterproofing manufacturer? To be fully adhered waterproofing, is there compatibility and bonding tests done between the board and adhesives membrane?
That's an excellent question for the warranty. It's good to mention that the warranty is by the membrane manufacturer. Our warranty is only on the product of the roof board, but the system as a full gets a warranty from the membrane manufacturer, since that's the most critical part of the system. And for the technicalities, we do have a lot of technical documents and testing and adhesion that we can also share during the Q&A questions and the answers that we're going to share eventually, hopefully next week.
So Karim, so far, these were the questions raised from the attendees. Please feel free to send us the questions on the chat box, and I will list down our colleague Karim Mansour email address here. So for future information and technical, you can refer to Karim. Let me send it in the chat box. So Karim, let's wrap this technical webinar. Thank you, Karim, for this wonderful presentation. Thank you all of the attendees for attending our technical webinars, and really we are proud of your consecutive support. We earn a lot of experience during the question and answer session, and as we said in the beginning of this presentation, till date more than 1,000 professionals have attended this webinar since the past eight months. So stay tuned for our coming webinars. As said, on the 31st of August, our colleague from the Central R&D, Christophe Blanc, will be presenting an interactive presentation on the fire performance for ceilings and wall assemblies. So thank you all, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you everyone for attending.